And that, as they say, is that. Hello. Hello and welcome to a stream. A Sunday stream, if I'm not very much mistaken. If I am, I have to change plans. No, it's Sunday, that's good. Well, I have no idea, do I? Yeah. Hello. Hello. Hello, a ragdoll. Yeah, so, I haven't drawn anything all week. In fact, my stylus for my tablet is still in the box that I put it in at the end of Sunday's stream. So let's take that out. Yeah, so it's been slightly less than a week, technically. 2 hours shy, but close enough. Putting on the glove, probably should have washed this. Yeah, so let's do some derusting. Pop over to here. Here's my fake piece of paper. Using exactly the same texture as I always use. Hello, Kira. How you doing? Welcome. I am going to draw a parsnip, because why not? Oh, my computer's angry with me. Hello, it's a miss as well. So many friends. How do you draw? I used to know, but it's gone now. We should get music. That's what we should do. Yes. Does anybody know of a game that has a kind of a good soundtrack that is unlikely to get me copyright struck, that feels vaguely Wild Westy for reasons? Start with a horse. I may actually draw a horse. I don't know. I don't know Wild West games. I have a few, I think. Basically, I just want to play Ennio Morricone music, but that will definitely get me copyright struck. I don't know. He basically defined Wild West music. Anyway, how's everybody's weekend been? Well, I'd hope. Ah, screw it. I'll get something else up. We'll do Rayman. Why not? That's where I got that music from. Although actually, this one is a bit messy. It should be fine in order, right? We'll find out. Let's go. Issue. Not very Wild Westy, but it'll do. Right. We begin with a snip. Been okay. How's the weekend been? It occurred. It happened. It is now gone. That's about it, really. Don't remember how to draw this guy. It's a bit weird. Hello, I'm perfectly normal. Do not check under my floorboards. Oh. Shush you. Only music. Only music. That'll do. Mood, big mood. Mood. Yeah, I've just been faffing around with bits and bobs. Not drawing. And now I'm drawing again. after only a week of not drawing. If you would care to look at the good ladies and gentlemen, that'll be grand. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Again, this is the first thing I've drawn for a week. Be gentle. Did I have a good week off? I had a week off, I guess. It's kind of annoying. I ended up...
Judges harshly.
That's fair. I spent quite a lot of it revamping my old website, doing some code and stuff, because my my main website now, the one with the shop and all that, that costs money, and it's not really making money. And I thought, well, it runs out in January. I might just go back, try and find other places to sell things. And just go back to my old Blogger website, which I can heavily change via the CSS and JavaScript and whatever. They let you have control of everything. It's very surprising how much that you can change. Completely unrecognizable. And I thought I'd just go back and redesign that. So I've redesigned... I've messed around a lot with CSS and all these sorts of things. So hopefully you won't recognise that it is a Blogger website. There's still a lot of placeholder stuff there anyway. But the thing is, I spent the week doing it, and I found out today, I decided to go into my my web settings. Oh, that's what's happening. Oh, you learn something new every day. That button is color select. Interesting. What was I saying? Yes, I went into my web hosting service, what's it, and to turn off auto renew for the domain hosting. And it turns out that it does run out in January. It runs out in January 2022. So I've sorted everything out a year too early. But other than that, so that's how my week's gone. Spent a week doing things that turns out didn't have to do for a year. I'm still gonna change it all around though, so my main site is gonna be the Blogger one, but it will redirect to the other one for the purposes of the shop. But wide starts. How do arms work? I don't know. You were doing a few warm-up doodles earlier. You haven't drawn in a good while because you had chronic neck pain. Oh dear. And poison ivy on your arms. Oh no. I think I remember you saying that. You're feeling better now. But how draw? How to draw? Why draw? It's hard. It is. But you've got to find the bit of it you enjoy, because that's what it's all about. Hey, maybe you're not going to draw the next Mona Lisa or whatever, but are you having a good time? Then you're winning. Future me will be happy. That's all right. I'm pleased with the front page because it's very silly. Hang on. There's not a lot else at the moment. It's mostly the front page. Going with the hexagon look. I just quite like this picture. It's very stupid. But yeah. Having a mess around. One of the great things with Blogger is it lets you just change all of the CSS. So you can just take all the things that Blogger sticks in there by default and go display none, display none, display none. So it's like I say, it's mostly sort of placeholder. So like my favourite one is there's a support page. Goes to the support page. What does the support page say? It's that. That's it. That's what it says. That's all that's there at the moment. But I'm working things out. This one's done. Stuff. Anyway, that's sorting things out. All salvaged art. Didn't draw anything new. Yeah, I can't do bendy arms. There aren't elbows, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, that'll do. Look how the mixer icon's still there. Is it still there? Probably. I thought I changed it for Twitch. Probably not. Where am I looking? I don't know. Poor mixer. He died too young. So here's a parsnip. It's not quite right. It's fine. So anyway, yes, another thing I've been doing, messing around with. People might remember a while ago I made a little card game, and I posted the rules up on my Patreon because, you know, where else am I going to put it? I've been sort of messing around with the idea of making games with existing components. So cards obviously are a perfect example. You can play thousands of games in a pack of cards. But chessboard, turns out it's only one game. It's a bit boring. Let's turn this down a tad. As good as this music is, let's turn it down. So yeah, I've been messing around with ideas for games that you can play on things that you might already have. And some of those games have themes, and I want to do little write-ups of the rules, but with little drawings. And with the card game, I did that with the parsnip and a little beetroot, who I will now attempt to draw, if I can remember how they look. By which I mean I'm going to look up how they look. I don't remember. What would it be under? Games, probably. That makes sense. There you go, that's what they look like for the card game. But yeah, like I say, I like having a theme for these things, so... So I thought, for one of the games that I came up with, which I would like to test with some people if anybody is interested, a game what you can play with a chessboard and a piece of paper, or some counters if you have any. Themes are good, yes. I thought I'd try and write up the rules with some silly illustrations, and the theme of it is a kind of Wild West gold rush sort of thing. Gold mining. The rules are absolutely nothing to do with chess, but it does use the chess pieces. And so what I wanted to do was come up with some little vegetable characters who will represent the chess pieces, but in Wild Westy sort of design. So I don't know how that's going to go. Not claiming these games are spectacular or anything, but it's a fun little hobby, and it's good to get value for the money of the components, and also the use of the components, because it's not incredibly environmentally friendly to keep producing lots and lots and lots and lots of different types of games and then only being able to play one game with them. Sounds rad-ish. Ha 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 ha. Love it. That's a bit small in general. So there's a radish and a parsnip. Yeah. So how has everybody else's weekends been? Have they been wonderfully productive and useful and relaxing? That was an eyebrow. Right. So let's do. I don't know. Let's do what? Thumbnail out some ideas. You posted an art for the first time in a while. Does that count as productive? Yes, it does. Absolutely counts as productive. Also got to see your art last night. Oh yeah, yes, that was made at the same time as the other one. I have no idea when you see these things, so I still prefer the first one, and I'm not too keen on the texture of the coat. But Drobit did some chores earlier. You're doing laundry right now. Almost done with a book you started a couple of years ago. Wonderful. Finishing books. I've never heard of the like. What a peculiar concept. So yeah, Dwarf Dad 2.0. I did those both simultaneously. There is actually one I did prior to both of those, which I don't think you've seen yet. But that's cool. This is the first sort of digital painting-y thing I did. Could be better, but hopefully you like it when it eventually comes along. Just been doing class prep and grading. May or may not be doing modified 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon for a class activity. Wonderful. $360 degrees of Kevin Bacon. 2 pi degrees of Kevin Bacon. What is a Kevin Bacon in radians? I don't know. This book is about 1200. Why am I never say it like that. 1,200 pages long, and you have 75 pages left. Might finish tomorrow. Wonderful times. Exciting. This music is very quiet. But yeah, I've done lots of bits and pieces this week, but I can't really tell you any of them I did. That's a bit weird. Should have kept a note, probably. Hello. It's been a long time since you stepped in, but you're studying for a test and you saw we were streaming, so you might pop in. Hello. Thank you for popping in. Hopefully the studying's going well. I'm just doodling some Wild West vegetables, as you do. As one does, occasionally. Oh, is that Wild Westy enough? Some prospectors. Some cowboy boots. They've got heels and spurs, that's about all I know. Cowboy stuff is not my area of expertise, it must be said. Stream is very relaxing to have on while studying torts. Torts? What's a tort? Or is it just a thing you have been taught? Or am I, as is my prerogative, being a fool? What's what? That's a law school word for lawsuits because someone hurt someone. Oh, okay. Is it like retort or I don't know. Neat though. Sounds like you're doing things that are much more worthwhile than me. So I'm glad I can help in any way. Okay, so that's good. Rough thumb. Really wish it was tortoises. I mean, there's no reason you can't have a tortoise give you a hand. Might take them a while, but they'll get there. It is law after all. No one said the law moves quickly. It'll be a Galapagos. Anyway, we'll get that. We'll shimmy that along there so it doesn't interfere. And we'll try and this a little better. Alright. I think that's probably actually too high up, or the eyes are too low down, maybe? Let's bring the eyes up, because that'll give me more room for other things, for activities. Let's be bigger. Perspective, it's a thing. But that's not quite the way they're facing in the rough, and I prefer the rough, so let's have this a bit more. Go like that. We love activities. More time for activities. If only. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I was going to do in my week off, taxes, and I didn't. So I will get round to it. I'll do it when I need something therapeutic and simple. Which I know is a bit of a contradiction when it comes to taxes. A lot of people get frustrated by that sort of thing, but I quite like paperwork and admin and all that sort of stuff. Makes a change from what I normally do. Somehow gone from a job that involved a lot of sitting down going through menial tasks on paper to a job that requires near constant creative input. And it's exhausting. And give you big old chunky boots. I could probably go even higher, actually. Even more room for activities. Really does look weird without colouring in the eyes. Look even weirder if I had pupils. Love it. You decided on a whim yesterday that you wanted to try Huvember this year and you can't stop thinking about it. You want to play with colours, never really done something like that before. I recommend. I used to be very bad with colours, as is evident by all of the Foggates things that I keep repurposing for UI on my website. I have to keep ramping up the hue. Not the hue, sorry, the saturation. Can't ramp up hue, can you? So I do recommend playing with colours. It's a good time. I'm still very much a novice, but the more you try, better it'll get. Oh, the look of single hue art. It's good if you can get it right. It's hard. Either that or I'm bad, which is they're both likely. These pupils are huge. Get it? Huge, huge. It's like it's a pun. Old prospectors have a beard, didn't they? Love the look of it, but you haven't tried it out yet. I don't think I'm gonna do anything in particular for October special things, as people like doing. I would like to do something with October, you know? That seems like it would make sense. Maybe just do some fun little doodles every day with them, but nothing strict. The arm a bit further up. There's like a sort of waistcoat. Nah, that's gonna get lost. Puns in this house? Never. Yep. Ah, it's a Doctor Heart. Yeah, I just like to do more with those characters because I only draw them for the comics and that feels bad. We can do that better. Get a better angle on that. Something a bit more. That's better. Pick this out a bit further so it doesn't intersect closely with the edge of the body. There's a lot going on here, isn't there? Add it a bit. You've been in law school for 3 weeks now, so you have the authority to say that puns are illegal. Oh no! That's, you know, my brain is now attempting to form some sort of pun involving the word barring you, but that's not really going anywhere, is it? But actually, enough puns keep them going. Don't say that here. You will be drowned in them. Big old floppy leaves. I really should do more branding with these guys. Feels like a kind of ideal mascot for my brand. I have a brand. Oh, that's the other thing. I'm kind of re-evaluating, stepping back from what I'm doing at the moment and re-evaluating what I should be spending time on and what I shouldn't be spending time on and all that. And I want to try doing more rough comics. So just sort of, you know, not laid out panels and all that sort of stuff, just sort of sketchy things as they come to me. Preferably with the outliers so that something gets done with them. So I might not be working on the longer comic for a bit. But I'll also be putting aside time to do like finished pieces and time lapses. Just trying to come up with more interesting online content. Yes. That's what the kids are into these days, isn't it? Content. Also, this was going to be a music stream, but I haven't done any music for months. And I thought, best not, you know, have the first bit of music I do for months be live. Probably not the best idea. But I have an idea for a piece of music I want to make, and I think it would be fun to do on stream. Yeah, I don't know. Anyone want to draw people running forward in a kind of perspective for you? I've got enough of that sort of stuff to do for myself, unfortunately. Luckily for me, a lot of what I do is, in inverted quotes, comedy. As a consequence, one of the things that's good for comedy is a good flat shot. And flat shots are easy to draw. What's that? So yeah, I'm quite lucky when it comes to that sort of thing. But I do want to try more, like I say, I want to try more sort of single pieces of, you know, more dynamic art with interesting colours and perspectives and poses and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully you'll be seeing more of that kind of thing. I want to try more stuff. An October comics may possibly end up being once a week here on. I don't know. We'll find out. Are there any references you could use? Can you use those anime pictures of people in extremely forced perspective? Is that right? Yeah, higher. Good enough. I'm trying to work out the best way to do it sideways. Probably makes sense. Have to remove the leaf a bit. Gonna have to be like that. Try and work out the tangent. Probably, but you're being lazy. Always use references. I definitely always use references. There has never been an occasion in which I have not used a reference. Ever. Insert montage of everything I have ever drawn. That is another thing I should probably do. References. That sort of makes sense. Okay, so, hang on, let's get the perspective of this right. Not quite. Also, that wouldn't be right, would it? Pickaxes are hard. You've hardly drawn in weeks and you've finished precisely one doodle at 4 AM this morning, so you're fine. You should shake the dust off. But it was a good doodle. Pretty going into family law, you want to advocate for kids? Yeah! Sounds great. I wish you the best of luck. There's always something in the back of my brain whenever somebody says something like that, and you're like, wonderful, you're doing something really worthwhile, and it's excellent, and here I am doodling parsnips. This is my job! Hello, noobs! How you doing? There's something very satisfying when you work out how to draw a cowboy hat. At least the brim. Still not entirely sure how this bit works. That's not quite right. That's too far forwards. You start with a monkey saddle. And it's all downhill from there. Of the painting of the dwarf dad, it was really well done. I'm glad people liked it. Again, I made that at the same time as I made the first one. And after I made another one, which you still haven't seen yet. So the time scale of these things is all over the place. But I'm glad people like it. I prefer the first one myself. I think it's better done. The eyebrows on that one are a bit weird. Didn't like the cloth. But there are things that, you know, I now know to look into. Set perfectly. Oh, that's not this one. Can I just say, I don't think there's been a Rayman game with a bad soundtrack. What is it about Rayman? They've all had different soundtracks, and they're all good. Yeah, I would like to do more painting-y things. If I ever get the time. The only time I ever do them is when Dark commissions me to do them. Although it's nice to know I can. Oh, I quite like that. Sort of afro on a stick. And that little 1950s cartoon curl. Hanna-Barbera. Oh, that was one thing I wanted to do. I wanted to do... So the Outliers, my characters, they kind of exist in limbo between lots of different existing properties. Because they never have a story of their own. They just hop around in everyone else's. So I quite like drawing them in different styles. And I wanted to just do some, like, proper sort of full pieces of them in a style like, you know, like an old 1950s cartoon, or, you know, like a full-blown anime poster or something. Just experimenting with different styles and learning different things. Because one thing, I can't remember what I was looking at. I was looking at an anime, something or other. I am not an animesman, alas. 'Tis not my area of expertise. But the one thing I did notice is how incredibly, like, in not necessarily in the animation itself, obviously, because things are rushed. Oh, that's a horrible tangent. Avoid tangents, kids. They're not that bad. A lot of people will tell you that they will literally ruin your artwork. They won't, but they will slightly confuse the eye, particularly if you don't have shading. If you have a clear structure and shading, it's not too bad. Yes, sorry. So anime style finished, like proper finished artwork has two things, which I think are very interesting. Number one, very smooth skin. So very well blended skin colors and tones and all that sort of stuff. You love them appearing in October Inca. I knew they were going to appear in there somewhere. It was just a matter of designing them. Mal was the easiest, obviously. But yes, so there's that. But there's also extremely thin line art. It's amazingly thin. I just can't get over how thin that line art is. So I really want to try that, just because my line art tends to be quite chunky. Be interesting to see how to make that work. So yeah, more random little comics, more one-off pieces of artwork for people who support me on Patreon. I'll probably record the making of those and do them as time lapses for you. Feel free to suggest ideas as well for drawings. I'm trying to focus on different sorts of things. This week's given me a good time to step back and look at, you know, there was a video by Sweet Baby Angel Mel. He's a good boy. If possibly a little fiery. What was I saying? Yeah, no, that's completely gone. Brain. Oh yes, there was a video that was released, I think, just before I had my week off, and the content of the video itself is not particularly relevant, but they said something in it which I thought was very interesting, which is 3 years. 3 years is enough for a groove to become a rut. And that worked really well with the position I was in. I think I needed that at the start of the week off to make me go, okay, what am I doing? You're doing your OC Tober line arts, and you're trying your damnedest to try and stay in some sort of Art Nouveau style. Ooh. And it's harder than you thought it would be. If somebody were to say the words Art Nouveau and easy, I would assume there was a knot in there somewhere. Art Deco, maybe. There's a simplicity to that style, but Art Nouveau? Nah. I do not blame you for getting a little bit stuck on that. Yeah, I'd like to do more of the short why we didn't finish comics for Outliers. I came up with a stupid one for Prey the other day. Might do that. One of the fun things with the Outliers is that they're kind of their own people, and as a consequence, you can just write things for the characters who aren't even involved. So like the comic for Prey that I came up with doesn't involve M at all, but she does appear in the background riding on an operator. Because why? Of course she would. It's the first thing she would do. I'm still not happy with how this thing's going there. Also, now I look at it, not happy with the eyes. Oh, also I want to do a podcast. That's another thing. If anyone wants to be on that, let me know. It's more like store brand Art Nouveau than anything else, to be honest. I mean, Art Nouveau was largely a commercial venture, so a store brand one, so it makes sense. You know, it wasn't like cubism or anything, it was mostly decorative. There's another boot here, it's gonna go... I should probably come up with names for these guys. Why not? But at the same time, why? It's boys. I've still never quite worked out how you draw high heels. Not high heels, these are like Cuban heel kind of thing. I also something in the back of my mind that really wants to do something with maths, like a little video series about maths ideas and stuff. Introducing maths from a non-academic perspective, kind of. You know, that might be helpful. Because I was thinking about numbers, and how the imaginary numbers always get a bit shafted by being called imaginary. They're not that complicated. I think I talked about this on a stream before. Anyway, point being... I have a PhD, and I'd like to put it to use. So they look like snow boots. How can I make them look like old-timey prospectory thing? How about... keep it simple. Have I mentioned how much I like this soundtrack? Also, that was another thing. If I start doing more sort of arty, streamy things, so like streaming myself making comics and pieces of artwork and all that sort of stuff, would it make sense to have like a separate Twitch account for that, or should I just keep doing it here? Because I sort of have my whole evening schedule thing going on. With this, I didn't know whether it'd be worth doing daytime streams as well, or having a separate place for those. I don't rightly know. Well, it's not the best thing I've ever drawn, but it's alright. The problems always become more apparent when you flip. Don't know what's going on with this. Keep that simpler. What's going on? Too much detail. Also, why is it flipping forwards? Actually, that should also go back. Just draw the line until it looks good. That's a quote from Leonardo da Vinci. Anyway, enough of these. Let's draw. And let me save this. Strems. Doodles. What's the date? The date is 13th of September. Oh, it's Chibi. Hello. How you doing? Not sure you mean this is your channel. You can do bonus streams if you want. Don't have to stick to a schedule. Ooh. This is what this is. Sure. Yeah, I don't know. So I'll probably stream more. I know I've said this hundreds of times, but I would like to stream more arty bits and bobs during the day. Oh good! Definitely didn't forget you streaming till now. Hello! We haven't done much. What did I do? I drew the parsnip and the beetroot, and then I drew them like this, because reasons. Now, what we need to do is we need to design, enter convoluted premise, we need to design vegetable equivalents of the chess pieces, but in a Old West Gold Rush style. That's what we need to do. Make that work. You had a good weekend, Chibi? Those are words, yes they are. So what do we have? We have the pawn. We have the rook. We don't have to be literal with our drawings. We can have here we go. We have the knight. Okay, we have the dragon. Sure. We have... that looks like a sock puppet. Yeah, that sounds about right. We have the bishop. We have the king. And we have the queen. Boom, 6 pieces. So, let's design characters that represent these 6 things. These are in increasing potency as minors. Because obviously the queen's better than the king. Your weekend was good. Yesterday Starfinder was fun, and today spent a while drawing. Don't really want the next week to start. That's just the curse of the Monday, unfortunately. I'm glad Starfinder was a good time. And I'm glad people liked the drawings. I'm glad you like them. So what can we do as vegetables? What a pawn be? Brussels sprout? What is objectively the weakest vegetable? That's a question. First thought went to potato. No, potatoes are quite bulky. It's a hardy one. It's not, you know, it might be a... Do the rook, maybe? Celery, maybe? Or like peas. Like I say, there's lots of pawns. Peas make sense. Oh, just in general, not for the weakest. Oh, okay, fair enough. I'm sure we can get a potato in there somewhere. Potato king. Broccoli, if you cook it the way your mum does, boiled within an inch of its life. Poor thing. It's already been cut off from its stalk. And you gotta boil it? Just kill it first. I confess I don't think I've ever had a broccoli prepared in a way I like it, so... Hey, maybe that's just a general theme. Potato is like the towel? Yeah, we can do that. Big old bulky potato. So in the game, again, for reference, this is as... I'm doing little doodles to illustrate the rules for a game that are played with chess pieces, but nothing like chess. These reach, whether this helps, pawns are worth 1 point, rooks are worth 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I kind of had an idea of doing like the rook being like sort of twins or something. But I'm not entirely sure how that translates because I probably don't want to draw 3, 4, 5, and 6 things going up. Peas would be cute for the pawns, maybe. Maybe. Problem with a pea is it's just a circle. And if you had them in their pods, like high-collared coats. Ooh, that's an interesting idea. Do you have any high-collared stuff on the West End, in the Wild West? Yeah, I'm gonna make this work. Doesn't really work, does it? It's a similar sort of shape. I thought it might work. Yeah. Stop. Thank you. No, 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 behave. Clip Studio, behave. Thank you. Are there any high collars in the West? Yes, I don't know. Again, not really my aesthetic. I made a theme for a game that involves mining. And that was it. All of Red Dead dramatic cowboy fashions. It's less cowboys and more mining. Like old prospectors and stuff. Ah, my back. That is the other thing I found out. Is that if I'm not... I may get my fair share of bodily aches and awkwardnesses from leaning over my tablet drawing all day, but it turns out leaning over my mouse, clicking my mouse all day, causes different types of back pain. So that's fun. This feels too cool, you know? Too cool for a pawn. Let's try and lean into it. If they're going to be cool, they're going to be cool. You know me, I don't draw cool things. Everything I draw is incredibly silly. I'm drawing Wild West vegetables. This is a Wild West Pokemon. I've drawn some very cool things before, like Ernstern. And the Executioner's Chariot. Maybe you can do a bunch of peas. I should really look up references for both the vegetables and the Wild West. I get the idea. A lot of dusters and waistcoats and bowler hats. You see them next to each other, it really is a Wild West P Pokemon evolution chain, yes. This one does have very middle Pokemon energy, doesn't it? This is clearly the Charmander of the evolutionary spectrum. Charmeleon, that's the one I'm thinking of, not Charmander. How long's it been since I played a Pokemon game? The edgy evolution, yes. The big ones are just angry, usually. They just get angrier as they get older, which is... I didn't mean older. I meant as they evolve, but it's pretty accurate. Okay, that's enough peas. Pea-pawns. Pawns in a pod. So now we can do this sort of... Trying to stick to a relatively consistent style here. Middle evolution is the crisis of experiencing evolution for the first time. That's fair. But then again, a lot of what used to be first evolutions turned out to actually be second evolutions when the baby ones were evolved. How many Pokemon are there now? I stopped paying attention at X and Y. And I'm pretty sure there were like 700 then. That traditional knapsack thing or whatever it is. You're just an old russet traveling looking for work. What do we do? Over 800? 7 million? What? Who? Did I say a thing? Probably. Is that the thumbs up gesture or the give me money gesture? I was going more for the hitchhiking, but it all works. Potatoes aren't really that sort of... They've got the occasional little lump. Now I want to do a baked potato joke. Oh, how many Pokemon? Oh yeah, I said that. Yeah. For some reason, evening streams, just my memory just completely evaporates. Never ending the Pokemon. Unless, of course, you stop paying attention to it. In which case, it ends exactly where you left off. Look at his big old friend. They enjoy the simple pleasures in life. It's like a rookie motif. Unpeeled potatoes look really unappealing. Keep up with the potato puns. I'll keep my eye out for them. Doesn't really make sense to be able to see the other side, but it's there. There's his and potato. I like the idea he's leaning back a bit. I guess the knight would be like a cowboy kind of thing. At least on horseback. What is a vegetable horse? Horseradish. I have no idea how to make that work. Because I believe the horse prefix for various types of foods are essentially, it's not the real one, so you give it to your horse. It's not the good one, it's the other one. So like, you know, it's not a chestnut, it's a horse chestnut, give it to the horse. Not a radish, it's a horseradish, give it to the horse. It's like one of the first things I learned on ukulele. Give all the vegetables to the horse, they're all horrible. Can't say as I entirely disagree with you. Apart from the potato. Most of my understanding of cooking revolves around trying to find a way to make vegetables not noticeable. Potatoes are fine in certain forms. Well, I wouldn't eat one raw. If that's what you mean. Luckily for me, I don't have to be anatomically accurate for this particular horseradish. So I've made a precedent for the eyes being like that, but this is a horse, so I don't know quite what to do here. Baked, boil, roasted, mash, chip, stick them in a stew. Can't say this is the best horseradish I've ever drawn, but it's worth a go. Now, who's going to be riding the horseradish? We need the... the vegetable that most screams cowboy. I have literally no ideas. Beans! I did have that idea, and I don't think beans as well. Let's not get into that. Actually, let's get into it. Everything that is grown for food is a vegetable. Including fruit. Fruits are vegetables. Chocolate is a vegetable. The botanical definition of vegetable is plant that is grown for eating, that is grown for the purposes of sustenance. The colloquial definition of vegetable is any vegetable which does not have a better name. So like fruit, that's got a better name, fruit. So technically, when they say that you should have 5 fruit and veg a day, they basically mean you should eat 5 things. It's feeling a bit more like a zebra, to be honest, but we got what we got. So there you go, you learned something today. Unless, of course, you already knew it, in which case, we do not actually know whether or not the decimal places of pi never repeat themselves, we do not know if any string of digits will appear in the decimal places of pi. We have yet to find instances in which they don't. There's another thing if you happen to know the vegetable thing. That's good. You do eat 5 things per day. Wonderful. I don't know if that counts for like individual biscuits or anything, but you know. Look at that. A little twist in there. A little Dexter's Lab hair twist. What about tea? I don't... It's not... I don't think so. Because you don't eat tea, do you? You use it to make a drink. Does coffee count? I don't know. I don't know about drinking. I guess so. Hang on, Vegetables are parts of plants that are consumed by humans or other animals as food. By the way, that also solves the whole tomato thing. Is a tomato a vegetable or a fruit? It's both. The meaning of vegetable as a plant grown for food was not established till growing, flourishing, just anything that grew. Vegetable. It's a vegetation, I guess. Edible herb or root? I guess so. Consumption, just in general. Because it doesn't have to be eating. So yeah, sure. Tea, coffee, why not? You're consuming the vegetables. Are drinks food? I guess you could theoretically go on like a soup diet, like a soup and shake diet, and I would consider those drinks because you don't chew them. But nonetheless, you don't die. So I wouldn't say you're going without food if you do that. So yeah, sure, why not? It's nutrition, exactly, yeah. So food is nutrition, it's just not solid food. You chew soup if you make it chunky. It depends on the soup, I guess. But like just a liquid soup. A soup or a broth with which to make one better with, or whatever the line is. For the purposes of making the one all the better with. No thin, dandified soup. Anyway, enough quoting 1980s sketch shows. There is my horseradish. Now to draw something on the horseradish. Let me from Motorhead. Let's do this going backwards like this. Like that, and then add the twiddles. Because they got crinkly leaves. As the horseradish. No broths. Always add chunky veg, noodles, rice, etc. Fair enough. I add bread. Excuse you made a chicken noodle soup and it was chunk and delicious. Wonderful. Smoothies can be made out of fruit and yogurt and such, and yeah, add meat or vegetables to noodles, rice, etc. I would argue that if you add noodles to it, it's not soup anymore. That's now a noodle dish with a very heavy emphasis on sauce. It's an over-sauced noodle dish. Same with rice, probably. Whatever the starch base is, that defines the food. As far as I'm concerned. Are we going to get into that conversation of what is a sandwich? Hard disagree. You're welcome to. Add chunky bits. You thought the liquid would... that the liquid would become a horrible consistency between liquid and solid. A plasma soup. Want to disagree with me there? That you're absolutely welcome to. But I think we can all agree that it's all vegetable. Right, who's sitting on top of this horseradish? It's a very unimpressed looking horseradish. This feels like the sort of thing I want a 3D model. Although I have attempted to 3D model a parsnip in the past before, and doing the skin of a parsnip is actually surprisingly difficult because it just looks like wood. It's all food, and if it's food, it's a vegetable. With the exception of meat, obviously. Brave, brave horse rider. Horse riderish. See, this is where I want the P with the high collar. Or is it just a stupid Brussels sprout? Less time thinking, more time drawing. Well, I clearly don't listen to myself, do I? You can do a kind of celery sort of thing, couldn't you? Move you out of the way. Every now and then you just zoom out and you're like, I've done this completely to the wrong scale. Let's try and come up with a consistent way of drawing this. It's getting further and further away from the concept of mining, but maybe they just corral the locals into... Well, that's the thing I just drew. Going wildly off topic. Or off motif, or off piste, or off kilter. These are all dwarves. It's a reference to yesterday's stream. Nothing else is hilarious. That's good. That's what I aim for. I'm not looking for serious. Well, the Mr. Celery is so much taller than his horse. Yeah, I thought that would be fun. It is interesting how we sort of started this off by going, what's the worst vegetable? And I think the first answer was celery. And that's our knight, apparently. Again, I do want to emphasize that the game that I'm doing this for is not a war game. It's about area control. Still working on that post-apocalyptic RPG for Monopoly, but that'll be a fun one to do Artful. Right. Bishop, King, Queen. Bishop, King, Queen. Bishop. Yes. The archbitches. Really don't know how a bishop fits into all this. Thing is, you would expect it to be like the traveling preacher or whatever in the. Sorry, so what's the holiest vegetable? I'm relatively far away from the monitor on which chat is, and as a consequence, all of the long, thin letters kind of look somewhat similar. So I read that as, what's the hottest vegetable? It's like, is that the first thing you go to when you think about a bishop? No wonder they're called archbitches. What's the holiest vegetable? I don't know, are there any vegetables really? Wheat, I suppose, because wheat is turned into bread and bread is the body of Christ or whatever it is. I'm speaking entirely Christian focused here. Bishops be sex icons, we all know. You know what they say, big hats. It is, oddly enough, probably the most phallic of the pieces. But anyway. I don't know, kind of stuck. What would it be? Again, I'm trying to theme this about carrot. Listen, for all the notices you got about archbitches and CK3 is about them being lustful. Fair enough. Cucumber, eggplant. Oh dear. We could do that just for the in joke. Eggplant. Okay. How are we going to phrase this? Because again, I'm not thinking of this as a bishop. I'm thinking of this as someone who will be good at mining, or at the very least good at setting up a mine. Also, I found out the other day, you know Lazy Town? The kids' TV show Lazy Town? What with the We Are Number Ones and all that? Apparently, there's one of those towns for each of the 7 deadly sins. And I'm extraordinarily surprised that they decided not to make a kids' TV show called Lust Town. Wrath Town would be fun though, wouldn't it? Just everyone beating the crap out of each other. Anywho. Leaves. There's plenty of leaves if you look at the collar of the... Look at the mane of the horse. Oh, hello. Really? Of all of the things that have been said, cowards is the one that Automod stops. Thank you, Automod. Oh dear. Apparently it was blocked for hostility reasons. C word. There's no baby dinosaurs though, is it? Yeah. Baby dinosaurs is now just our shorthand for over censorship. Okay. So let's move you. I don't actually need you, do I? Anyway. I'll keep it. Stick it in the corner. Yeah. Automod is drunk. I don't think Automod has ever been sober. Okay. Eggplant. Or whatever it is we call it. What do we call it? Aubergine. That's what we call it. Eggplant's a funnier name. Well, they really do come in a variety of shapes and sizes, don't they? Okay. Let's actually get a new layer here. Aubergine. Already done one that was leaning back. Let's do one that's leaning forwards. We behave sometimes. Not always. Sometimes. No, music is still playing, it's just very quiet. Oh, and we have plenty of soundtrack left. That should be grand. So hang on, I wanna tell you what, let's just screw the mining theme, let's just go Wild West. I can come up with some sort of explanation. They can rally together the disparate mining folk. This music's quite quiet, isn't it? Why is this music quiet? Well, here's hoping the next one isn't very loud. Oh, that's loud. Aubergine. Aubergine. That's this character's name, Aubergine. Spent most of this time trying to think of a pun on Bible involving foods. It's not working. The good cookbook. It's a cookbook! They're not trying to feed us, they're trying to eat us! How to Serve Man by Creature Feature starts playing. Bum, ba, ba, bum, 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 ba, bum, bum, bum. It's a good song. I don't think that had needs to be that. Yeah, no, I've got nothing. No, I'll skip that. We have 6 minutes. I cannot draw a king and a queen in that time. What shall we do? That'll do. Try it. I don't want to try it. What's a king? King, prawn. That's not a vegetable. I already did a very simple king and queen sketch. It's the best I could mustered. What would be, I don't know, what would be the king and queen? So sheriff. You're welcome, miss. There was actually, do you remember on last Sunday stream I drew October with a little t-shirt saying be pump kind, which when you say it out loud isn't fantastic, but, and it had a pumpkin on it. I'm actually kind of tempted to make that into a shirt. Stick it on Redbubble or whatever. This is very silly. Sheriff and the one who monitors the bank. I was about to say teller, but they just work at the bank, don't they? What is this music? Okay, thank you. I'm trying to think. Yeah, but how would you represent that with vegetables? In a simple, cartoony fashion. Definitely sheriff. It's amazing that if you type Wild West Sheriff into Google Images, you mostly get costumes, as opposed to, you know, pictures of films or actual lithographs of the time or what have you. Definitely buy that shirt, though. The vegetable of the law. I'm trying to think. What would the sheriff be? What would? Vegetables is a limited thing to work with because they're mostly green and leafy. To be honest, the celery probably would have worked for this. What shirt? Oh, the shirt I drew October in on last Sunday's stream. The the one with the pumpkin on it. It said "Be Pump Kind." Mushroom? Is that a vegetable? It's a fungus. No. List of vegetables. Because we've come to that. You count mushrooms as vegetables? Yeah. They don't move. That's mostly people's list of priorities. Does it move? No, it's a vegetable. Land cress. Ooh. Love some good cloud cress. Spinach, dandelion. I guess they're edible. I do like a kind of Brussels sprout stick, I guess. Would that look good though? There's the question. Probably not. I've spent 6 minutes trying to work out what to draw, and in the next 6 minutes, and it's gone. It's just gone. It's the end. It's the end. We're finished. I haven't drawn a thing. I'm about to roll. Okay, turns out just do the thing. Do the thing and then it'll get done. Here is a carrot sheriff. Grizzled old. Maybe grilled old. Griddled old? Do you griddle a carrot? Let's see, why not? That'll do. Romanesco broccoli. What? It's Romanesco broccoli. Broccoli is one of those words I always spell wrong. Oh, that looks cool. Oh, wow, it's like a fractal. That's great, love that. When they're trying to demonstrate like fractals in nature, they never show Romanesco broccoli. That's amazing. Well, I've learned something new today, and that Romanesco broccoli is fantastic. And I'm not drawing them. Oh, we're getting things that aren't music now. Like cinematics. There we go. Looks cool, and also you don't want to think about eating it. I feel like you would start eating it, and there would be just exactly the same amount there before you started. Wait, there's almost a sentence in there. My brain is melting. It's a fractal joke. Don't worry about it. Anyway, here's a tiny sheriff. This is to scale. Thank you for coming along, everyone. Yes, that wasn't too bad for having not drawn for a week. Old baby sheriff. So yeah, thank you for popping along, keeping me company. On Tuesday we have a wildcard stream. That's not the thing, is it? That is the thing. So I don't know what that's going to be. Who knows? Could be anything. And then on Wednesday we might carry on Jotun from yesterday. Or we might just do something else. Don't know. Games will happen. That's going to be a thing. Yes, if anyone wants to... Oh, hang on. I completely forgot. Oh, there's nothing there. It's fine. Games is... Yeah. So yes, if anyone wants to give me a hand testing stupid game ideas that I have that are probably awful, but worth trying, do let me know. Tabletop sim having that will probably help. Hope you have a good week as well. It's a new week. A new wonderful start to a new wonderful week. It's going to be amazing. And if it isn't, kick it. And then it'll start up again and it'll be amazing. I don't know what I'm talking about. Do you remember me saying that my brain's melted? That's the thing that's happened. Boo, a new week. That's got to start at some point. Can't have a weekend without a week start. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming and having a time and enjoying. Why though? Because starts and ends, and ends and starts, and it all goes round. But if it all goes round, why is there a start and an end? Why isn't it just round? I don't know. Where does a ring start? So, enough blabbling. Thank you, and goodbye.